How's it going, guys? This week we got something a little different. It's not a full-blown build video because I'm kind of, running out of ideas right now. So, this week we got the first of my two-part build crafting videos in Destiny 2. This one's going to be a basics. So, like, if you're new to Destiny 2, this one's going to be very helpful for you off the rip. If you're not new to Destiny 2, well, consider just watching it. Just to, I don't know, a refresher maybe. Helps the algorithm. All that good stuff. So, if you're new, you find this helpful, like, subscribe. And if you're not new, you stumble across this and decide to watch it, give me some ideas down below for some builds. I'm kind of working on one right now, and I'm struggling to put it together. I got another one coming out in the works as well. So hopefully that will come out eventually. And obviously I still have the PvP stuff that I've been trying to get out and do and work on and all that other stuff. But it's kind of been a drag because right now this has been my main focus because this is a very important thing that I want to cover. This is actually the whole reason I made my channel, was to help people make builds. So what better way than to make a build crafting guide? Now, in this video, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about your 6 basic stats of your Guardian. We're going to talk about your armor affinity and the energy that comes on it. And then we're going to talk about basic synergies that you can keep in mind between weapon perks, exotic weapons, exotic armors, and class node perks and all that other stuff. So let's get started. Now, first, in Destiny 2, there are 6 stats for your Guardian: mobility, resilience, recovery, discipline, intellect, and strength. They all serve their own important purposes, and I'm going to explain those. First, mobility. Mobility increases your movement speed and maximum jump height. This stat is basically forgotten. Like, not a lot of people run this. People don't find this important. Hunters, however, you're going to want to find this important. This is what determines your dodge cooldown. At 100 mobility, it's like a 11 second cooldown, I think is what it is. So if you want to run a dodge oriented build, high mobility is going to be your best friend. Now then we have resilience. And resilience increases the amount of damage you can take before dying. Also decides the Titan's cooldown for your barricade. There's a few things this does. One, it increases your technically shield pool, because if you don't know, there are 2 different things in Destiny 2. There's that red piece that you hit when you're critically wounded, and then there's that white bit. The white bit is your shield. This is what is really increased by your resilience. I think it's all the way up to a maximum total between your red health, which is like 45-ish, 48, 45, to the end of your shield, which is whatever it is. So in total, that bar is 201. You can take 201 damage before dying with max resilience. It decreases the damage you take from stasis when you break out of it. Like if you're frozen and you manage to get out of it, reduces the damage from that. And it also determines the health of your Ward of Dawn, your bubble, and your Well of Radiance. So that is also very important. From there, we have recovery. Recovery is what determines how fast your health comes back. It also determines the cooldown rate of your rifts for my warlocks. So, basically, you get shot, you get into cover, and you can hide. This basically means you can hide for less time. Your health comes back faster. From, let's say it takes 30 seconds, and it's really not even seconds, it's percentage based. It's how fast your health comes back. So, at lower ends, 10% of your health per second. So, it's not really a lot. And at max, then I think it's 18. It's a lot. You get a lot of your health back for this. And then the last 3 stats are discipline, intellect, and strength. Now these determine the cooldowns of your grenade, your super, and your melee, respectively, in that order. Do keep in mind though that stasis, their abilities have a longer cooldown. So for example, at 10 intellect, your super recovery rate is going to be, I think it's 4 minutes or some change, something like that. On your stasis, that's going to be closer to 5 minutes. It's not a huge, difference in length, but it's still going to be a pretty big, chunk, of difference. Now, From here, we're going to move on to Armor Affinity. You might hear me turn the page here. It's because I didn't have time to type this out this time because I was really lazy about it. I just kind of went with it. Now, Armor Affinity can be confusing to newer people and even sometimes older people. However, once it's kind of broken down, it's not so bad. So armor comes now in 4 elements. It comes in arc, it comes in solar, it comes in stasis, and it comes in void. The element of your armor determines what mods you can use on that specific piece. So for example, if you want to use like Powerful Friends, you're going to want an arc armor piece. This way you can slap it into that combat style mod. There are also particular regular mods that only go in your helmet pieces. Like for example, solar helmet, you can get access to assets, which is grenade energy. Grenade kills give you super energy. The other thing that you want to keep in mind for your other things for your armor is armor energy. This goes from, I believe, 1 to 10. Now, this determines how much you can put in your armor. So, at 1, first of all, every mod has a cost. From, 1 all the way, I think the most I've seen is like 7 with particle deconstruction this season. So, basically, if you want to place, say particle decon on your class item, it's going to cost 7 energy. So you have to have a minimum of 7 energy on that class item to be able to place it. Now, luckily, since it's a seasonal artifact, it can go on whatever piece you want. But, let's say you want to run a solar mod, and it costs like 6. You have to have a solar piece of armor that has 6 energy on it. This way, you can place that particular mod on that particular piece of armor. Now, the way to upgrade these is by using your Masterwork materials, your enhancement cores, your enhancement prisms, and your ascendant shards. Now, I understand some people think that ascendant shards are a pain in the ass to get, and they can be, but, we have a lot of different ways to get them now. Maxing out your Vanguard, your Crucible, your Gambit, and now maxing out your Trials also gives you a ascendant shard. You can buy them from Banshee. You can buy them from 801. We get them throughout the season pass. We get them through like seasonal events and stuff like that. So there's plenty of ways to get ascendant shards. And then obviously the Grandmaster Nightfalls and your Master Nightfalls will give you some ascendant shards there as well. And finally, we're going to talk about synergies. Now this is where build crafting gets fun. So once you have your stats you want and your armor you want, you can then start looking at things like, well, what do I want to run? Do I want to run a grenade build? I got some pretty good discipline, and my class stats pretty good, so let's run a grenade build. Okay, cool. You want to run a grenade build. Now, what are you going to run with that? You have options. You have a lot of options. You have weapon perks like Demolitionist, Wellspring. Both really helpful to get your grenade energy back. You have exotics like Traveler's Chosen, Getting kills gives you those stacks of light. You consume them, and you get a lot of energy back. I think 10 stacks of the Gathering Light, it's all your abilities back for free, basically. 10 kills, all your abilities are back. It's insane. And then, on top of that, you want to run damage perks with that. Right now, the only thing we have for a grenade-based build is Adrenaline Junkie. But Bungie's already said that Adrenaline Junkie is going to get a rework. It's going to get a buff. So, if you want to run a grenade build right now, keep those Adrenaline Junkie rolls. Because, they might get changed in a way that's really, really helpful. Or, lo and behold, it might not even involve grenades anymore. Which is going to be really interesting. Now, you go from there. Okay, cool. Now, what exotic armor piece do you want to use? Let's use Warlocks, for example, because I already have a Warlock grenade build set up for this example. So let's say you want to run Bottom Tree Solar. All right, cool. You want to run a grenade build? Cool. Grab Sunbracers. Melee kills, grant you like infinite solar grenades for 5 seconds. Yeah. Oh, but wait, my discipline. That's the main stat I want to work on. There's a way around that. Use Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo allows you to get kills and damage enemies, get your melee back. Use Monte Carlo, get your melee back. Melee something, throw grenades infinitely for 5 seconds. The synergy is there. And if you want to take it a step even further, grab a fusion rifle with Demolitionist or Wellspring, whichever you prefer, and use that. Get your grenades back even faster if you Throw the grenade as sun bracers wear out, you're stuck at like half grenade energy. Okay, you're going to get your grenade energy back from your discipline, but now you have that fusion rifle in your back pocket to help get that last little bit of grenade energy back. Super helpful. And then heavy, for example, I'm going to use my corrective measure with Adrenaline Junkie because why not? It's got Adrenaline Junkie. I'm throwing grenades. I'm throwing 5 free solar grenades. I'm going to stack that Adrenaline Junkie really, really fast. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to get the damage buff that it gives me. And then it's just, rinse and repeat. Monte Carlo, get your melee back, melee something, throw grenades, Adrenaline Junkie on the corrective measure. It's all over. If you have some grenade energy left you have to get, use the fusion rifle. Then repeat the same process. And that's how you get a nice synergy for your build going. You just find weapons and perks and stats and armor that all just fit so nicely together. And with that, use these little tips and tricks and a little guide to help you with build crafting. This is all I got for this one. The next one's probably going to be a lot longer because it's more of an advanced one where we go in depth for all the different combat style mods we have. So keep an eye out for that. That might be in 2 weeks because I do want to put out a PvP video next week. I got a little wheel randomizer that's going to determine what class, what exotic I use. I may do this for weapons later on down the road, but as of right now, it's just going to be armor because there's a lot of armor to get through. So if you found this informative, if you found this very helpful, if you're new and you want to try to get into the build crafting, area of Destiny, use this as a general, a guide. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's a guide. So hopefully everybody is having fun with Festival of the Lost. You're doing your Grandmaster stuff, your Legend Astral Alignments and Shattered Realm, which I have yet to try, your raids, whatever you're doing. And just don't be afraid to test stuff. I've seen a lot of people say, well, testing stuff's boring. You're right, it may be boring, but you're going to get the results you want eventually by slightly tweaking mods and slightly tweaking weapon synergy and perks and all that other stuff. So I hope everybody enjoys, and I hope you all have a good week.